shooter.
It's always been a dream of mine to make a custom bow. And this week, I'm going to get to spend some time with a professional bowyer to make my dreams come true.
Well, Corey, this is what we're going to start out with. Okay, this is the finished product. I say start out with because this is what we're trying to do. This is a bow that I've designed. It's called the Whip. Okay. The reason why we call it the Whip is because it's a fast bow. You know what we've done is concise a reflex deflex longbow. Brought it down, shortened it, kind of made it look like a recurve. We've incorporated some curves here, so the multi-curves. You got some stored energy, okay? See this here? This will come back and the string will just barely touch the nocks. It doesn't like touch the limb. That's what a recurve would do. You see the groove? You've seen grooves on recurves? Well, you won't have that in this bow.
Okay.
We have some nice tips on it. This is a pattern off of a horse bow, a Scythian horse bow or a Mongol bow. Has a highly deflexed handle with reflex limbs, and when you string it the bow, there's some really forceful energy in it, so it makes a great hunting bow. It's short, the 60-inch overall length. We're talking 58-inch nock to nock. You're really going to like this bow. The bow comes out, you know, we're going to build you something around 50-pound range.
Okay.
We've got some laminations involved here. Real briefly, we've done some, multicolored laminations of wood. In this particular case, we're going to do yours a little bit different. But right here, we got a little bit of sassafras, we got some walnut, we got a little bit of red action wood with some Osage, and we threw a little piece of zebra on top to give it a little color.
Wow.
And we got black glass here with hickory laminations. Not a lot of fellows build bows from hickory anymore. It's phenomenal wood. We're going to build your bow out of red elm, though. It's going to be a little prettier, a little different. However, it'll still be on the dark side. Has good history as a bow would, and so I'll tell you what, we have a nice handle here, but we have also, we're going to cut a radius on the shelf here to give fang clearance, so when the shaft comes off you don't have that. Later on we're going to make some nice wooden arrows to match this bow. We make our own Flemish bowstring, okay, and that's a process in itself. I'll teach you how to do that.
Okay.
So what do you say we get started on this?
Let's get to it.
Alright. Hey Corey, how about grabbing that board over there?
Alright.
That's that. Remember the last bow I showed you? We did it out of hickory. Now this bow is red elm, and we're going to make your bow out of that.
Okay.
This is a pretty nice bow wood. We enjoy making bows from elm. It has kind of the same characters as hickory does. It makes a beautiful bow, plus it's very fast. Now what we're going to do today is we're going to cut out some material, laminations if you will, out of a board like this, and we're going to put them through this grinder over here.
Okay.
And we're going to mic these, okay, because we have found through the formula that we have for each bow and each form that we use that we have to have so many thousandths in order to provide the bow's poundage. Now what controls the poundage is the length, thickness, and the width, okay. And now these are 1.5 inches wide, and we have to mic the thickness of them, okay. Now, right now I'm hitting about 141. Okay, now one of these is a parallel, and that means it's the same thickness all the way down, all the way full length of it, okay?
Okay.
Now this one we're going to grind it into a taper, okay? And the taper is thinner out here and thicker in here. And I've made a jig that I can do that all with one piece, okay? The sole purpose of that is so that you don't have that compression struggle when you pull the bow back, so it's a nice smooth draw from beginning to end. Without that, years ago they used to make them with all parallels, parallel on top, parallel on the bottom, in which case it'd stack and be hard pulling. This not only does that, but it increases the cast of the bow and makes it faster.
Okay.
And with these compound curves that I showed you a few minutes ago, it really accelerates the arrow. So why don't you put that away, and we'll go to doing a little bit of grinding here.
This isn't just any wood. This is aged wood that came from our backyard here in Pennsylvania.
Corey, what you're holding here is what we call the core wood of the bow, okay? That's the center material between the fiberglass.
Okay.
What we all remember we mentioned about having a parallel and a taper. One is going to have tapered ends, and it's going to be thicker in the center. However, they should be about the same thickness. The one that's parallel, we're going to leave it alone, okay? So what we need to do is just designate one of these laminations here to grind to the right thickness, okay?
So it's not going to matter which one we choose for that at this point.
Right.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is place this on here. I have a jig that grinds both of the ends at the same time. One of the most important things that we're going to be doing on this bow is the most tedious part. That is sanding. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to take 2 layers of fiberglass and 2 layers of wood. We're going to hone these down to the perfect measurements. Okay, now under here we have a feeder that feeds that through, but we have to crank this up to allow the clearance, okay? I like to take them down somewhere around 60 thousandths. That should be the finished product, 60 thousandths on the end. Now we're going to tweak this on a quarter of a turn. That takes off about 5 dollars. When it hits the center, I know that remember I had that 8 thousandths over? Yes. I've got that there for a reason, because when it hits that 8 thousandths, it's going to come in about 130 thousandths. Okay. And I'm going to have my taper where I want it. Kind of learning thing. It's not something along. So you got to make a few of them and make the mistake, and then you'll discover it.
We're going to do this again?
Yes. All right. This is one of those little digital. I have calipers we can use, but I just wanted to check this out. We only took off about, I don't know, maybe 5 thousandths. Okay. It's about 130.
How much are we looking to take off?
I want to take 136 thousandths right now on the outside of this. All right, now see how this one is just a whisker smaller. It's down to about 122.
Okay.
So what do we have to do? Turn this around when we're all done. I always do that, just to make sure they're equal. Follow me? Because you never know. Excuse me. There's some dust. There might be some dust under here. You know, whatever that can change that. You know, thickness on it. So what we can do is actually just turn it around and run it through without changing it. Well, Corey, we've got our laminations ground. We're ready to grind out the handle. I took the liberty to pick you some colors here and laid up the combination. What we have here is super action wood. You see you have different colors. There's a brown, there's an orange color. As you'll notice, the tips and the handle are accented with orange, my favorite color. Then we got some purple in it, if you notice, okay? Then we're going to glue that onto Apaton.
Okay.
Now this is all going to get a configuration cut out, but unfortunately got all the glue stuff and shrink wrap. Now what I did is I used shrink wrap to hold it together and clamp it together and put it in the oven and bake it, okay? And then I'll run it through the grinder, clean it up, lay a pattern tape on it, a pattern on it, we'll cut it out, then we'll go from there to glue up your bow, okay?
All right.
So I'm going to clean it up a little bit right now. Okay, what we're doing here is we're taping off our handle so that we have something to draw on. The only problem with this is this stuff is a little on the dark side. I had some lighter. This is painter's tape, okay? But what we'll do is we'll use a big thick pencil here. Maybe I'll be able to get a decent pattern out of it to see what I'm doing.
Okay.
Dang it.
And you're going to use this to lay over top and trace?
Yep, that's what we're going to trace. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, what we're going to do here, well actually I think I'll mark center on this and be done with it. This is a little over 18 inches, so 9 is 18, right? So we'll make that the center, and we might as well make the center of this one as well. I think it's 12 inches, yeah. Pretty close. This just gives us an idea where to put our pattern here, because I got a mark on it here. Okay.
And that'll be the center of the grip?
Yeah. And it's going to set up a little high, but that's okay. We don't care about that. We're going to round it anyway. Here's what happens. I end up cutting so much away. I don't need this piece on top. Tape made me jump off. Okay. Now, we're going to cut this out and we'll have to taper the ends, okay?
Okay.
Oops, lay that off to the side. Okay.
Well, look at this.
Yeah, that's all going to get covered up. You won't see that unless you use the clear. However, we're more interested in getting this feathering effect on the side.
Okay.
And you'll see when we get it going. Isn't that looking pretty cool?
Well, this looks a lot different
Looks like
than
they grew together.
Yeah.
Well, wait till it gets shaped. It'll look totally different.
Oh, neat. Look how close. Now, you're going to dip into this?
Yeah, I got to match that to the mold. Corey, we've cut out the handle. I need to grind it and clean it up and get the ends nice paper thin. But we got to match it to this form, okay? This is the bottom form to your bow. This is what we'll be gluing the limbs on. And I have to get the transition, nice, clean transition, because I can't have a bunch of bumps in it, and I can't have a bunch of air gaps in it. So it has to be matched pretty good. Actually, it's hitting pretty good right now, but I need to clean it up because, as you can see, there's a little bit of rough spots here. So I'm going to clean it up just a little bit over here on the grinder, and then I'll have to keep an eye on it. I don't want to change it, okay? But we're going to make it nice and clean, okay? And then I'm going to round the top of it. So let's go over here,
Alright.
and we'll touch this up. See how we wanted to take this, make this nice radius here, get nice paper thin out here. We want to make sure we match this, okay? That don't look too bad.
Okay, now these are 2 pieces of fiberglass that we're going to be putting on either side of the limbs, and I'm going to go ahead and tape this off in preparation for the next step.
Corey, here, this is the glass that we're going to be using. It's 40 thousandths, okay? So we're going to go like this, just kind of double check and make sure it's somewhere close to 40 thousandths. How about that?
Right on.
Okay, so 240s is 280 thousandths. That's part of our configuration for the overall thickness of the limb, okay? And that's the reason why we have to have 40 thousandths in this particular type of bow, because the formula was made with 40 thousandths glass.
Okay.
Now, you could use 30 thousandths glass, but I prefer when you're building a bow, 45 pounds or up, you use 40 thousandths, not 30 thousandths.
Okay.
You could use 30 thousandths, but I think the integrity of the bow is much better with 40 thousandths. Okay, what we got here is we got the form, okay, the lower end of the form.
All
We
right.
need to protect that form so when we take the bow off, it doesn't stick to it, okay? So we got some special saran wrap here. And by the way, it is special. It's made by Saran. And I had a special order this stuff. I don't know if I can still get it or not. They quit making it, so I special ordered it. And why it's kind of special is we found others type of saran wrap, it actually stuck to it. Now when I take some shrink wrap and just tie it off, okay? Yeah, so don't move. Now see there's a little spot here that got ripped somehow. So
You gotta cover that up.
I'm gonna reinforce it. Okay, that's cool. We're good. Okay, now what we're going to do next is we're going to mix up some glue. We're ready to glue up our lamination. This is the gluing process, and this stuff is phenomenal. It's great for polyurethane, castable, and brushable, flexible molding compounds and rigid casting resins. This stuff is really, I think it was designed for the United States military and automakers and every major airline
Whoa, this glue holds airplanes together.
in the world uses this stuff. Anyway, it's an equal part type glue, and you have to bake it in an oven. We've built an oven over there. We're going to be putting it in, okay? And here's what we're going to do. I'll give you, for instance, how it works. It isn't rocket science, okay? So we're going to take about 10 of these, okay?
About 10 scoops?
Yeah, is there another tongue depressor? That one there's
Yep.
got a gob with something on it. It's pretty important you keep everything nice and clean because you don't want anything in your glue, okay? Because remember, this is real thin on your material that you're gluing up. That's 3. I'll bet you if you measured this out, it would be within micro thousandths. How many was that?
That's 5, this would be 6.
Okay. I knew that. I was just trying to see if you knew that. Okay, what we got here, this is number 9, and this would be number 10. Okay, now Corey, I have a little procedure here I use to mix them with. I use this little thing I invented. Whoops, and we unplugged them. See if that's the plug out. What I do is I take my, do it like this, I mix it up real good. I used to do this with a tongue depressor. My hand gets tired after a while. Besides, I get nice equal mixture doing it this way. Air bubbles isn't amazing. I've never had any problem with it. Some bowyers seem to think that's an issue, but years ago they used to have that problem. I think it was primarily because of the glue and material they were using. And there's other types of epoxies that they use for making bows. This smooth on's like the best stuff I've ever found. Okay, gang, we got our a bow kit made up here. We're getting ready to glue this little fella up. We've mixed our epoxy. It's 2 parts, equal parts. What we have here is our 40 thousandths glass. We've got our parallel that's going to go on the bottom. We're going to glue up our handle. We're going to put a taper on top of that. And then we're going to put another 40 thousandths on top of that. We're going to put it in our mold over there. We're going to put some shielding covers on, some pressure strips, and an air hose. We're going to air it up, pop her in the oven. We're going to bake her. So here we go. I'm going to show you how to put this glue on. Did you bring one of those little sticks with you? Yep. All right. I'm just going to show you how to do it, then you can do it. I just get it started like that. That's about all you need to get you started. Okay. Now you want to remember, I want you to make sure you get along the edges real good. We don't want any air gaps along the edge. A nice clean glue line. See how nice and shiny that is? That's what you're trying to get. Okay, look how far I got with just that little bit.
Oh wow. Okay.
So go ahead and do that other. You got the general idea.
You think I maybe a little bit more?
Yeah, I put just a whisker more on there.
Okay, so now this is, I'm gonna glue both sides of this, right?
Right.
Okay. Then we're gonna put this onto the fiberglass.
Right. Both surfaces have to. You're gonna have to glue one up
Just
one
like
side,
a
flip it
lot.
over on your glass.
That's okay if it goes over the edge?
Yeah, we don't care. Okay, what we're gonna do now that Corey's got these all glued up, we're gonna transfer these 2 pieces face to face. Okay. So what we do, Corey, is just lay that on top of that, bring it back over to the edge. Now, as long as you have it laying here, go ahead and dope this up and mud it up, or whatever you want to call it. And then we're going to set it on top of the mold.
Okay.
And then we'll set the handle on it. And then, we'll dope the handle up. And then we'll go ahead and do the taper and put it on top, and the glass on top of that.
Okay.
But you can go ahead and do the glue up right here.
And then we can align this better on...
Yeah. And it's not terribly important how perfectly straight the material is. But we try to get as straight as I can before I get it on there. Because we're going to be cutting a lot of it away and grinding something. Okay, Corey, we're going to set right here on top of the mold.
Okay.
Just kind of center it up, equal ends. You can guess at it because we're going to cut it off.
About like this?
Well, whatever, how much is equal sticking out the ends. That's close enough.
About that.
Yeah.
That's pretty close.
Okay, good.
Okay.
I'm happy with that. Get your handle now.
Okay.
Do your hand, dope it up on both sides.
On both sides?
Yep.
Okay. Now this will like suck into the wood?
Yep.
Okay.
That's why we do both sides. It's called sizing.
Okay.
We size the wood first. That looks good. Now what
Okay,
you want
now-
to do is got a line on the other side. See it?
Okay.
We'll line this line up with that line right there. It says control line, center line.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, do it up the other side, the top of it now.
Okay, now do...
Yep.
Now again, don't go shy on the glue.
No, right.
Okay.
Here's where I meant. Right here at the edges is where you put the extra glue.
Okay. Should I do that when I'm done getting
Yep.
most of it?
Yep,
Okay.
put it up first. Center it up on top, just flip it over.
Okay.
Come on, here's the end a little bit. There you go. Now you can look down and see what you're doing because you got light under on top of you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I just finished this one here. Okay.
Lay it right on top of there.
Should I bring it down some more?
No, you're fine.
That's okay?
Yeah, no.
All right.
Now what we're gonna do, you got your marks lined up there?
Okay.
Pretty much?
It come off a little
Yeah,
bit.
center
Here we
the
go.
whole lamination's up here.
Okay.
Okay. Pretty
About
close?
there.
Okay.
Okay.
Hold my line on. Don't let me go off, but okay.
Okay,
You
good.
Got her?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
You got her kind of centered up, do you?
Okay.
That's good. Just something
go
like
ahead.
that. Now I want to make sure this doesn't move. See, that didn't move on me, so center it up. It's still good.
Okay.
Still good in the mold. Okay. Want to push down on that?
Yep.
Okay, there you go.
Okay.
I knew I brought you along for a reason.
Now,
You okay? It wants to slide, don't it?
a little bit.
That's okay. Okay. Good. All right. Now here's what you do. You take your glasses off now. Your
Take these off?
Yeah.
All right.
So what we do is take some shrink wrap, pull it over, like that.
Now this is gonna help keep them all in line.
Yeah, but we're gonna keep reinforcing it all the way. Okay.
Okay.
I got some other things we're gonna do here. I could practically glue this whole bow up with shrink wrap.
I think Denny's been practicing with that saran wrap.
See how I'm crisscrossing it?
Okay. It's gonna keep it sucking itself back together.
And keep it pretty even, huh? Okay. Now, what we want to do is do the same thing in here. Here, hold on a second.
Okay. Okay, now Denny's gonna have me put this pressure strip on here. And what this is gonna do is going to allow us to use this device over here, which is a
Fire hose.
and this is going to keep all of our limbs sealed down to one another so that our end result is going to look something like this.
Okay, we're going to put these little clamps on, U-shaped clamps here that I had made. And we're going to just put these on here like this. What that does is keeps this from shifting, the material from shifting, okay? Actually, an old Bowyer shared that with me.
Now this is going to keep that in place while our
Yeah, you can actually push
pressure
this out a
hose
little
is
bit
going.
further if you want, but that usually does the job, okay? What I'm concerned about is these limbs can't shift now. See how tight those are?
Okay.
Now you shrink wrap them on, we clamp them on, plus we're going to be putting the air hose in a top half on it. So let's put our hose on it now. Give me the Schrader valve on this end. That's the end they put the air in.
Is it that one?
This end, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's lay it on pretty much equal.
Okay.
There you go. Okay. Before we worry about anything else, give me the top half of the mold.
Which is here?
Yep. Now you see it says side A.
Okay.
Side A comes over. Okay. So we go down here like so. Get my fingers out there.
Whoops. See it.
All right.
I can push.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Need a longer one? I should work.
No.
There you go. Screw it.
Oh, okay. Is it started?
I don't know. You tell me.
I think.
Yeah, it's coming.
It's good. Now do
It's good and snug.
just good inside.
That's it.
Okay.
Right there.
Okay. Now do the same.
Yep, do the same. Okay, we've already glued up the laminations. Now we have to put equal pressure on it. And what we've decided to do in this particular mold is use an air hose to equally put a certain amount of square poundage per square foot on it. So we're going to slowly air it up. What this is a fire hose with ends on it. See it raise up?
Oh wow.
Ain't all that heavy.
Okay.
There you go.
How's that? Perfect. It's good.
Okay, we got her all set. Now she's in the oven. I'll have to bake it for about 3.5 hours. That's set for around 158, 155.
Now we're gonna cook the bow? I thought ovens were for pizza.
Degrees, and we'll let it cook and get that epoxy hardened up, and then we'll lay out a template here and clean it up, okay?
All right, sounds good.
Someone said make arrows, so I thought I'd out Indians the Indians.
I always wanted to be an Indian.
Let's see what we can do here.
All right.
What we got here is a fancy pencil sharpener, a little router here. We're going to size this thing. We're going to make 11 30-second shafts. Watch how easy this is. Boy, old Chief Tecumseh would have loved to have had one of these off day.
And that's it.
That's it.
That's pretty easy.
So a lot of Indians used to use cane, which is kind of like an American bamboo. And they also used all kinds of different other wood, but there were a few in particular. And what they would do would be is they would hone them down, carve them off, and if they noticed that there was a bend in one of the arrows, they would take it and rotate it over a fire around that bend, and it would pull the fibers back in line to straighten that out.
All right, boss, I think the cake's done. We're gonna take her on out of the oven. Over here. Crank it down.
Okay, we're going to leave the air out at first, okay?
All right.
That's cold enough. I had to, but normally you let them set cool, but I had it cooling in the oven there. We're going to release the air from the Schrader valve there. Once in a while, we'll switch it. Couldn't ask for a nicer layup that looks nice and straight. See, they did their job. They held it in place. Okay. Peel off your tape here. Okay, Corey, what you want to do is go along here. Like this. Go ahead.
Okay.
All the way on both sides.
On both sides?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay.
Now take this like this. Okay, you might have to trim what's laid. I don't know where you left it on. And this will just pull right off. Don't worry too much.
I still can't believe just a few hours ago we started with
Yeah, with nothing. Just
nothing.
Just some wood and an
I
idea.
mean, that's amazing.
And people ask me how long it takes to make a bow. And on an average, we're talking 12 to 20 hours from beginning to end. Now that's if the wood's already cut for us. If I have to go out and cut the tree and farm the wood and process that, of course it takes longer. The wood's usually cut, it's air dried for 6 weeks, then we put it in a kiln for another 6 weeks. That's just so that we can cut the board. We're going to cut this bow to the length, proper length. Alrighty. We use a special saw blade on this because it's fiberglass. Okay. Ready, Freddie? Okay, there we go. Okay, we've made some marks here on the bow. Okay, we did some layouts here. This is where our nocks are going to be. This is where the center of the bow is. we're going to take this template, we're going to lay this across here like that. And that little mark I'm actually going to use for the center of my tip overlay, okay? Now what I'm going to do here is center that up now with the limb itself. Looks pretty good, okay? It's good that way. So now,
Pencil.
okay? Now you want to hold that down there for me,
Yeah.
okay, until we get started here. There again, after the way I do it, I kind of eyeball when I'm grinding. So, all right, I use templates, and I kind of get an idea where I'm at here. I've got a straight line here in the center of the bow. We always put the arrow rest above the center, okay? I have it offset by about 1.5 inches. So what we're gonna do is take that mark right there, okay? Put it on there, on the center. I'm gonna cock this just a little bit, just to get it started. And this just gives me an eyeball of what a basic pattern, okay? Everybody's got their own way of doing it. I do the thing on the machine anyway.
And that's the handle cut out.
That's the handle on the window. Alright, I'm going to be cutting out the handle here. Now we've got a bandsaw here set up with a different kind of blade and a slower blade to cut this fiberglass. Not all that easy to do, because you cut through hard wood at the same time. Okay, now we have the window cut out here. We'll clean that up here in a little bit. You see the profile I've laid out on the bow itself. Rather than take a chance with the bandsaw and catching a piece of fiberglass and peeling on us, I do this on the belt sander, okay? This 36 grit, 1.5 power, it'll do the job. So what you do is you come up here and just kind of feather it in, okay? We don't want to catch this back here, just up here for now, okay? You can feather it in after you get it down there, okay? So watch how I get started and I'll let you do it.
It's more interesting when you do it.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Okay, we're going to file some knocks in here. File them a little bit on an angle. How deep do you go is like something like 1/8 of an inch, a little bit deeper. I don't want to go crazy with it because I've still got to do tip overlays. But I'm going to tilt the bow here. So that's a start, okay? I do mine freehand. There's jigs you can buy, make, whatever. I do pretty good with them. You have to be careful when you're doing this because you can catch the fiberglass and peel it, and you don't want to do that. Well, we've got a nice bow ready to shoot, so we got to make a string for it, okay? We're going to make a Flemish bowstring here. It's a Flemish twist, basically.
Okay, so what we're dealing with here is Flemish bowstring. And why it is a Flemish bowstring is because the loop is actually braided back into itself. This is going to be a lot stronger than just tying some knot on the end of the string. It's going to make it a lot easier to slide in over your bow tips. There's easier bowstrings to make, but I'm picking this one.
going to use two different colors. I got fluorescent orange, I got purple here, and we'll see what she turns out there. We're going to make it a 14-strand string, primarily because we're looking at 55 pounds thereabouts. Whoops, I'm done on me here. Get a little slot there that goes in. Okay. You have to go around that twice, okay? Now we go. Every time I cross over, that's a strand.
Guess you're gonna do how many?
I'm going to 7 strands. I like to use different colors. Some people do them left-handed. I do my right-hand. See, I got a little 7 marked right here.
Okay.
But that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we get 7 strands. So now what we're going to do is we're going to clip these down the center. Okay, then I gather up my bundles, pull them out nice and tight. Now this is pre-waxed when I buy it. I order it extra heavily waxed, and I'll show you why in a second here. See, when I do this, it sticks together.
Huh.
So it's easy to twist.
It's like a clump.
Right. Now, for some reason, and the factory will tell you this, fluorescent colors don't hold the wax for some reason as well as the others.
Okay.
So sometimes you have a little problem with the.
You just gotta be cautious and wax it every now and then.
Sometimes, yes.
All right.
In this particular case, I think I'm okay. This feels pretty good. I might use yellow or fluorescent green, and it might not be as nice as this. We'll see. I don't know how it'll stick together.
Now, those first 2 you're counting those, right?
The first one I don't count.
Okay.
The second time around I do.
Okay.
Because I have to go around that first pin twice. I mean, it looks, I'm making it look easy, but it ain't all that difficult, but sure is when you learn. I had to go have somebody actually physically show me how to do it. Another Bowyer, because I couldn't figure it out when I first learned.
Now this is a good all-purpose string then?
Well, it's very durable because it sticks together, you know, bonds to itself. Hey, that worked pretty good.
Yeah.
I order extra waxed when I buy them. This is BCY, best stuff you can buy. That's some kind of rhymes now. Okay, we take these 2 ends.
Okay.
Like this, match them up. And over here I got a little mark. You can guess it. It's about somewhere around 7 inches.
Okay.
Then I start twisting them, okay? Cross over towards me. Twist away from me, cross over. Twist away from me, cross over. Now what I'm doing is making the eyelet. Cross over, twist away from me, cross over. Twist the string away from me, cross over. So in other words, I twist it over to myself. This is the hardest part to teach somebody. I don't know why, it just is.
It's because you're going like opposite but pulling. It's like rubbing your head and patting your belly.
Yeah, exactly. Wash on, wash off.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. That's your loop, okay?
Okay.
Then we cross it, match these strings up. If I can get them to match up, there we go. Get in there, like that. Now I'll poke that over that like that, okay?
Okay.
Don't step on my strings here. Pull that out like that. Now do the same thing, twisting them up. Twist to the right, and I cross them over. Like so. Twist to the right, cross them over. Cross them right, you know. Thank you. Boy, that's quite the girly string.
There's definitely lots of colors going on.
I get down there about.
Now you just keep.
Well, I only do this a couple inches, and then I
Okay.
quit. Okay, that's just to tie it off, so to speak, until I get to the other end done.
So now that's not going to come out.
No. Watch this. Okay, just do that. Pull that out tight. Pull these hairs up.
You burn the rest off.
Well, you can, but if you cut them close enough, you don't have to worry about it. Tell you what, though, take some sharp scissors. Regular scissors just aren't really that sharp. There you go. That's one end of the string. Okay, we go to the other end. Same thing. Now all these strings stretch to some degree. This is B55. When I'm going to twist this up, then it's going to stretch it several times on the bow. But we're going to kind of pre-stretch it before I do it, okay? But I have to twist all the twists in simultaneous so they're all together. See how it's kind of interweaving itself. One spot here, just twist them. It'll get to it eventually. You ever have one of those little things, those little Japanese things you put between your fingers? It's along the same principle. It interweaves itself and pulls again. Now I'll put it on here and kind of give it a little stretch. See how that opened up a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, there's your string. Okay, let's put it on your bow and try that new bow out.
Alright.
Put the big end on the top and the small end on the bottom, okay? I made you 2 loops. One's
Okay.
smaller than the other.
This one's smaller.
Okay, put that one on the bottom. You don't put it on place yet. You got to get your top one on
Okay.
first. Okay. You get it on there?
Yeah, pull it up a little bit.
Remember I had you round these edges? This is so don't
Okay,
cut
I
the
got it.
string. Okay, bring that all the way down.
Oh, okay.
Yep, okay.
Ouch.
All right.
A little bit of fiber.
Okay.
Alright.
Now this is going to stretch, so we're going to leave it right there for the moment.
Okay.
Besides that, we never strung the bow. Let me get a stringer. Show you the proper way to string a bow. I don't know if this is going to fit on that or not, because those are big ends. We'll give it a try here. Oh yeah, it's working.
Now, what is this device called?
This is a bow stringer, okay? I want you to step down on that and slide your string out.
Okay.
Use your other, yeah, that's right, I guess.
Whoop, here it is. Okay.
Wrong end, that end.
Okay, now I'm gonna step down on it,
Yeah.
pull it up, and
Pull it
slide
up
the
and
string
slide that
out.
out. Go on, go with it. There you go.
Are you still going down there?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Now we're going to let that string stretch for a minute, okay?
Okay.
Because we got to shorten it. Okay, take it off again. See, it's going down to your hand, stretching out. I didn't mean to take that off because you got to take the string off.
Oh, take the string off.
Yeah, we got to twist that up. That's brace like
Okay,
it's
so
way
we gotta
too low.
keep stretching it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, I
Until we
got
get
you.
it settled in. Okay, what we have to do here is we need to twist the string counterclockwise to shorten the string.
Okay.
And that will raise the brace height of the bow because we're still too short. And primarily what happens there is as the string stretches, these little loops get tighter and tighter. And that's where you're getting your stretch. Okay, it doesn't mean the material is bad or anything, but we have to shorten it. So I'm twisting it 6 to 10 times because we're getting close to the end. Then I put it over this knock like that. Put this up. Now what is the brace height? I'll explain that in a second here. Brace height is like this. That still isn't enough. But notice it's not stretching now. I just need to shorten the string some more. Okay, gang. This is where it gets stiff. Look how far I gotta spring that thing. You ready? Here we go. See, that's called a fist mount. Okay. Fist sets in the crotch of the handle, and there's a string. Okay, now that could stretch a little bit. That's where we'll leave it for the moment.
Okay.
I could stretch it up just a little bit higher than that. Oh, that's a shooter. That's a shooter. There she is, braced. I want you to take a look at that. See how nice and even the limbs are? Bending. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Nice heavy string. That'll take care of any hand shock. This is a really nice light bow. It's called the Whip.
It only weighs
Half a pound if it weighs that.
almost nothing.
Man, this thing will shoot like a rocket. It's like really gonna be fast.
Now, as your shoot, shoot it a couple hundred times, that will put some work in. It'll.
Oh yes, it's called training the grain. Okay, that's getting the core wood. Even though it's got glass on it, you still have to train the wood grain. Okay. And that being said, certain sets we'll take its own set. And we keep the tips light. We haven't put tip overlays on it, so we're going to narrow this down a little bit more. Okay.
Okay.
Then we're going to sand it, put a nice finish on it, and serve the string. Okay. We got to serve the string yet, and you'll be all set. Now for the tip overlay. We're going to make it a little bit fancy here and also reinforce the tips on it. We put a little tape on here to keep it from exactly.
Okay.
Now you can do this with a block. You can do a sander. And when they take fiberglass, they put one side sanded, one side's ground. The side that's sanded has a clear coat of sealer on it.
Just go every which way, get it real good.
You're doing good.
All one direction.
Yep.
All one direction.
That'd be a good idea.
Okay.
Okay, let's put some on the back of that. There you go. Just set that on there if you will.
Okay.
Okay, what we're going to do here is put a couple little I'll help you out. Go ahead. Got it. Oops, tweaked it. That's okay.
Is that too tight?
Nope, it's fine.
Okay.
Let her set up. Tip overlays.
That's funny how you really have not. I mean, it's a knot, but it's not a knot where, like, you know, you tied your shoes knot
Right.
to hold things together on.
Okay. Oops, she's come loose on me in just a second here. I gotta readjust it. If you get started and get on the right tension on it, it gets a little tricky.
And that's just
This unit has enough weight on it to do this. The other ones don't have that. That feels pretty good now. You ever seen anybody do that? Nobody does that. You bet that thing all day long. Look how nice and tight that is.
Man alive.
It's hard to believe, huh?
Now, before this, you were doing it by hand?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
You got, you know,
90,000
day long.
times.
Now watch this. I thought there'd be more left in. Sometimes there's so much tension, it does it on its own. But apparently I didn't have it that tight. This thread's a little bit thicker than the others. It makes you a nice serving, actually. The only problem I don't like is somehow this got around the other side of the fence here. Get in there.
Huh. Look at that. And then
Cut her off.
done.
Bing.
Huh. How about that?
Then I take a little bit of this. Okay, now we're ready. We're gonna put the finish coat on this puppy, make it look pretty. So I got the edges. You don't see any white spots on the edges, right? They're not white, right?
Shiny.
They're all shiny. Good. Well, we've made some arrows here out of poplar, and we're going to turn this on this little jig I made. And what we have to do is put a 5-degree taper on there.
Right now I'm going to knock some arrows, and I'm going to align them so that the top of this knock, this little knob that sticks up, is going to go in line parallel with the grain of the wood, so that whenever they're shot, the Archer Paradox is going to have more stability on the shaft.
Now you know you got to put these on there on the end and get them nice and lined up. And oh my, I better pay attention to what I'm doing.
Looks like you ate a knock.
They look alike. I didn't know. One's a little harder than the other though. Yes. To get a little heavier one, which would be like 3 mil. Okay, we go like this. And keep right close to the edge, okay? So I'm gonna give myself about a quarter to 3/8 of an inch at the top right here. Rock her back like that. Like that. Now just keep the center tight. Just like that.
And that's it.
That's the way it's done. No fuss, no muss.
Right.
It's called the little chopper. We're gonna cut the profile of our feather that we're gonna be using out of this whole feather. So we set that in there like that. Then we place this lid down on it with a cutter blade on it. Hit it with a mallet. And we cut a little feather like that. So we take a whole feather like that and we make it into that. That's all, kind of warm it up. Look at how fast that thing is. Jeez, Lord. Look at that's almost buried that thing to the fleshing. It's okay. That sucker's moving.
Man, this sure feels like it was made for my hand. This is called the whip. It's one of many bows that Denny Mears makes, and I was fortunate enough to be able to spend the weekend with Denny, who is a professional bowyer, and get to learn some of his knowledge of this art. Absolutely everything on here is custom made specifically for me. It's actually a cross between a longbow and a recurve. It's called a Mongolian longbow, and horsemen used it. And this is the one I like the most. What's going to happen next is I'm going to be out in the field tipping over some deer. Wow, Denny, this is a lifetime of knowledge that you've put into this, and we did it in one weekend. Now I get to live my dream. Thanks, Denny.